Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris from Chris the Caravan channel here on YouTube. Today I'm in my caravan at the storage facility. The last video I put out was me collecting the caravan, which seems to have gone down very well. So today is the start of personalising it in certain ways. So basically Wi-Fi router is going to go in today. A couple of other jobs coming up are the solar charge controller and a couple of upgrades on the power side of stuff. Also got a couple of videos coming up on technical stuff as well. So basically, if you're a new beginner, a newbie to all this, hitching up, checking the caravan before you tow, advice on servicing, advice on how to service your motor mover, and a couple of other bits and pieces like that. So today we're concentrating on this. This is the Avtex wireless router which sits on the roof. So I'm going to take you through a quick guide how to do it, how to hide the wires properly, and setting up initially once it's all done. So let's get on with it.
So before we start the install, let's take a look inside the box. The biggest item in the box is the aerial. Although the system is 4G only, the aerial is actually 5G ready. So in the future, if Avtex bring out a 5G router, it's just a straightforward swap over. In the same box as the aerial is the mounting kit. This includes an extended tube, a larger washer, larger lock washer, and a nut to suit. The second box within the kit is the component box. From left to right we have the 12-volt power adapter, the 240 mains power adapter, the router, Cat5 cable, and the Wi-Fi aerials. On the outside of the router there is all the information you need to link to it, such as the Wi-Fi name, the Wi-Fi password, and also a handy QR code you can use to scan on your phone to instantly link to the router. Finally, in the box is the printed information, such as the user manual and the quick start guide. Also in this package you'll find the SIM card which comes with the kit.
So once you've been through the box, read all the instructions, it's time to find a place ideally in your caravan where it's going to sit nicely. So I think I mentioned in the walk around video I did a couple of weeks ago that I found a place to go to the router. I can't go this side. This side here is the cupboard which you would think you would ideally do it, but unfortunately it's got the, apart from the wife's wine glasses, it's got the aerial here, got the booster box there, and there's also the radio behind that panel there. So a bit of electrical interference may happen from that. So to save ourselves a hassle, what we're going to do, we're going to go to the other side of the caravan, into this one here. As you can see, purple kettle is coming. This cupboard is nice and empty. So what we're going to do, we're probably going to put the router either here or here, and we're going to go through the roof over there somewhere, because if I just poke you through the skylights, don't worry, I'll hold your hand. There's nothing on that side of the caravan at all. There's no cabling anywhere. There's nothing there to interfere with anything else. So yeah, picked our spot. Right, let's go get a drill. Right, we have to stop for one moment before we drill a hole. If your caravan is new, you don't really want to be drilling a hole through the roof of your caravan without any sort of warranty backup. Now, you can get these fitted at dealers. They will come and do it. You can get it fitted by an approved workshop, a mobile engineer registered with the NCC. That will withhold your warranty. But if you decide to do it yourself and there's a leak, basically you've shot yourself in the foot. Now, if you're in any doubt at all about any of these things, like I say, refer back to your dealer, refer back to the manufacturer yourself if you wish, and go from there. So if they say yes, it's fine for you to do, they make a note of it, done, sorted. If not, think twice about doing it. On the roof. So preparation is all important. Now, this is the other side of the roof where the router is going to go. So basically, we're going to go through here. Router's going to sit here, lovely stuff. Underneath the router, there's a great big sticky pad which needs to go to a nice clean surface. Obviously, with caravan shampoos, there are waxes in them. What I've done is I've used a bit of tire glue remover, which has taken the sort of almost like the sheen off of the bodywork on top here. You can tell that because way it sounds. So yeah, next thing is, the next bit is important, is the drilling bit. Now, you never drill from the outside in, you always drill from the inside out, or else it can get very messy. So this is the box with the aerial in it. So let's take that out of there. Let's discard that for one moment, but we'll need that box again in a minute. I spoke earlier about the sticky pad. Well, if you look under here, this big pad here is actually the sticky pad. Peels up on the corner here. Peels off there. So you can see that, peels off there. So that's a sticky pad. As you can see, it's quite a big surface area. But what we're going to do is, once we put the little extension on it, I'll get the extension out of the box. There we go. Like the other bits and pieces you get in the thing as previously seen. This bit at the end here, long tube, is a bit that sits on the end of that. Then that goes through the roof and these nuts and bolts clamp to it. So, as I say, that's the pad. So let's start building that. Right, so that's the shaft put on. You may have noticed before I put the shaft on, there was a little stumpy bit of thread in there. That's for different height vehicles. So basically, if you've got a camper conversion or something with a very thin roof, or put it on a different vehicle completely, obviously you don't want this great big hole on it to knock you in the head every 5 minutes. So this pole is extension because the roof on Bailey Caravan is quite thick. These are just, as you can see, star washers, lock washers, and a big nut. They go on later, so basically once it's installed in the caravan, they go around there like that. Little slot on it helps you go over it. That one's down into place. Now obviously, being a nut with a split in it, when you tighten it, you don't tighten it too much, because what'll happen is it'll open as you try and do it up. So sticky pad, what we're going to do as well when we put it on the roof, before we put it into place, is we're going to stick, he says, trying to get the stuff back up off the top. That's it. Going to stick a bit of sealant around the bottom there, just as a bit of like a belt and braces sort of measure. So at least we've got a nice decent bit of sealant on there to stop any water ingress. Right, let's carry on. So we've chosen the area where we're going to put the router. So what the next thing is, before we go and do anything else, is just make sure we can get some power to the unit. The aerial is non-powered. Aerial is just an aerial, but the router obviously needs a 12-volt supply for it. Now you can run it on 240 on mains, but the downside of that is if you ever go off-grid, you're not getting any Wi-Fi. So I always install these on a 12-volt supply, and what I do with it as well, I'll try and find a switched supply as well. So basically, as soon as you turn anything on in the caravan, you want it to come on with the main switch. You don't want it to be on all the time. You can wire it to be on all the time, but to be honest, if you're not going to be in it from one week to the next, there's not really any point. So what I'm going to try and do in a minute is I'm going to go underneath the seat, see if I can find a bit of cabling I can tap into. But if I spin you around, well, with Bailey Caravans, as you can see in the corners, they have these trim pieces, which you can pull off. Now, they're very easy to pull off. They're only polystyrene. Not exactly a rocket science. Obviously that's going to be very, very thin and very crumbly, but along the edge, say if I put the router there, along that edge there, there's a hole going into the next cupboard, along there, along that little hole there, then in the other cupboard here there's a bit of trunking which goes down, and obviously that goes down beyond that lot and ends up under there somewhere. So I'm sure underneath there we can find a switched 12-volt supply to tap into to run our router. Right, cabling is in. As you can see, if I just spin you around, look up there, there's my two little tails up there, plus and minus. We checked it, I've got 13 volts coming out of that, which is quite lovely. So basically, as I said, I've gone along down through here, through that one, down the trunk in the corner, down into 12-volt feed, which is on back of one of these lights. Now I've gone for the right side of the switch, so basically if I turn the switch off, it's not going to turn my router off. So I've gone to the permanent 12-volt feed, which is fine, lovely. I've run an earth cable down as well, so I've got a proper decent earth. So what will happen is, in theory, when I go out the caravan or leave the caravan unattended, I'll turn the light switch off. That will then turn the router off. Independent switch, see? So it's not going to be stuck on forever. It's not going to be draining me power when I don't need it. And we haven't got anything here that needs to have a Wi-Fi connection as such. There is a tracker going to go in a minute. Maybe in a minute once I've done this. Which I'm going to hide up. Also, I'm not going to show you where I'm going to put that because obvious reasons. Yeah, so right. That's the wiring bit's done. Now we can get the drill out. Right, cabling's in, all powered up. I've already drilled the hole from the outside, from the inside out. So basically this is where we're going to go. And obviously the router's going to, once we make the bigger hole, we'll sit there like that. So, let's do the next nervous bit. Let's make that hole a little bit bigger, shall we? Right, hole has been drilled, as you can see. Sealant is on. Taking the pad off. Redone it with me tar and glue remover, just to make sure. Any debris. Nice and lined up, and she's in. Now, tip for putting this in is when it's in the hole, push down it, don't be frying, push it right down, because what you need, I'll bring you in a bit closer, is you need this lip here to be sprayed out as it is and not puckered up anything. So a good push down gets it nice and seated, and also gets some of that sealant you put around the thread in it, also gets that nice and spread out as well. So quite happy with that. Now back inside. So right, that's the outside done now. So what we do now is we get our attachments. There they are. So that's our cross washers, star washer, and our nut to hole in it, and we're going to put it through the thing. As they are going to go up there. That's where the thing is, as you can see, not quite central, but enough for there to thing. So can't see any sealant coming through, so I didn't overdo it, which is nice. So let's put those on. Right, there you go. Those are nuts on. Now it says in the book there is a recommended torque to put those on, but obviously with these cables you're not really going to get a torque wrench on there. So what I've done is I've used my standard method for anything that you're not too sure what the torque is. Do it as much as you can, and then one of them done. So that's that bit done. Now time to mount the router. So right, that's the Wi-Fi aerial antenna on the roof, all thing I've done up, all nicely tight. The next thing is moving on to the router now. So router obviously is run on a mobile data SIM card. The SIM card that comes with the kit, perfectly fine, runs on the O2 network. When we was out and about, never really had any issues with signal. Obviously there are going to be times when you're struggling for signal if you're more rural. We go to many campsites that are like CLs, which are in the middle of nowhere, so sometimes we do suffer. But what I did pick up recently was an EE SIM card. They seem to be quite good. This is a pay-as-you-go, not a contract one. So pay-as-you-go, I think I pay 30 quid. That gives me 125 gigabytes of data for a month. But then again, also if I don't use it for another month, then don't use any data. So I'm going to put this in. Now there is a way of doing it. The first one I ever put in, I had 4 attempts of putting a SIM card in it, basically because if you put it in as when the router's mounted on the wall, it goes that way, and then what happens is the SIM card drops off and drops inside the unit. Out comes the router again. So what I've learned in the past now to do is put it in whilst it's sitting on the side. So we'll do that. So there's my router, and as you can see, SIM card 1 slot is open. That's where the first one goes. The primary SIM always goes in the first one. So we'll shove that in. Goes in, you should get a click once it's in. There you go, that's in. If you're running 2 SIMs, which would be perfectly acceptable to do, what the unit will do is it will switch between the 2, whatever's got the most powerful SIG signal. So that's in. And also the other thing that, it's just a couple of wires on the top, but there's actually a way these wires go. I'll show you the manual here. You'll see at the top there, get that straight, that's it. See at the top there, you've got main antenna, or main there, auxiliary there, which means there's two. So if you look over here, top of the thing says cell A is a main router antenna. So basically, if we put it there like that, the main one, which is A, is on there. So A, if you look on your cables for your antenna, and we can get that in focus. Yeah, cell B, and surprisingly, cell A. So obviously that one is the main one that'll go in there. Now I have accidentally swapped them around once, and it still does work, but obviously there are certain windings in the top of that antenna to go the right way around. So we'll do that before we attach it to the cupboard. Right then, so cell A goes in that one there. And cell B, obviously, goes in that one. Like that. Cables everywhere. Lovely stuff. And also on the other end of the unit, which I forgot to show you, is obviously where the power goes in. It's a bit dark in that cupboard, can't really see it. But you can see the rest of the power there. And those are your LAN connections if you wanted to hardwire it to something. Yeah. So next, aerials. Two of, which sit on top of there. And wind those in. Lovely stuff. So now you can obviously, once that's in, you can, if you're restricted in height or whatever, you can move them around a bit and point them in directions like that. What we'll do now is we'll see if we can mount it. I think we're probably going to go that side, which is to the front of the caravan. So we'll offer it up. Alright, there you go. A bit close, but that's all right, that'll do lovely. So we can do those aerials, and then we'll do this. Those wires are going to be clipped up around the back of there, and then put that trim piece back on, and then the wife will be happy. Right, people, good news. It's working, it's in and done. There you go, if I just go to the top of my head, I stuck my head out of the way, there it is. It's all up there and wired in. Someone forgot his cable ties. Who that could be, I wouldn't know. So I'll be nipping back up a bit later on some cable ties to tidy those wires up. The good lady wife did turn up halfway through with my mum. I was a bit disgusted the amount of mess I'd made in her cupboard, but it's okay, it's good. We're all happy now, it's all cleaned up, as I can see if I put up there. There's no mess in the bottom there, just a little screwdriver. Right, plugged in, all ready to go, all done. I've topped up my SIM card because I went to plug it in, no data. Which is not an issue. Obviously it's topping it back up again as I'm going away the end of this month. Yeah, put some data on it anyway, so that last month out. The reason it's got two SIM cards slots in it is another really obvious, but for an obvious reason. Obviously you're never going to get 100% coverage over the whole of the county or the country or Europe. So what they do is they give you two SIM slots, and what will happen is at the moment we are running an EE one, which I've just topped up, and we've also run a gift gaff one as well, which I think is a gift gaff. I think is based on the O2 network. So I had both those running at one point, moves away, absolutely superb. But at the minute I've only just got the EE one in there at the moment because I've since got an iPad and the gift gaff one's in that. But with two SIM cards, it will guarantee that you will have data wherever, obviously, fingers crossed. So it'll flick between the two, whatever's the best signal, it'll flick between. The other bonus feature with this item is if you go to a campsite where there's on-site Wi-Fi, what you can do is you can sit down to link to that, you can link to this. That, going to the settings, it's already explained in the manual, going to the settings, and if you look, you can actually link to an external Wi-Fi point on the campsite. That gives you a bit more scope for stuff. Yeah, and say it's all in and all done. So we don't have any cable ties really, but I'll bring some of those up tomorrow. Yeah, all done and dusted. So thank you for watching. Hope you liked. Hope I didn't drone on too much. So yeah, we'll see you soon. Click like, click subscribe, click share, click the notification bell, do whatever you want, and hopefully we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.